distinguished colleagues all over the world, I want to welcome all of you to this late afternoon webinar to be presented by Dr. Festus Oladimeji Olafari. The focus today is going to be on learning analytics, introduction to learning analytics. I want you to please bear with us. There is a little problem with the network of the presenter, and we hope he will join us soon. It was on here before we started the streaming. Incidentally, but before now, there was an issue with his network. So I think he is back now. So what we'll do is we are waiting for him to join us. Meanwhile, I will invite Mr. Kwalidafe, who will stand in before the presenter joins us. Mr. Kwalidafe would
Good afternoon, everyone. It's really nice to be here another day on the webinar presentation of the Association for Innovative Technology Integration in Education. So I think Dr. Olafari will be joining us soon. So we'll be talking about learning analytics, and then those things, what we stand to gain from learning analytics as an educator, as an institution, and he is going to do justice into the application of learning analytics in classroom teaching and learning, and how we can make viable decisions based on data. So I think we have Dr. Olafari here. Hello, sir, are you there? So we can have you. Hello, Dr. Olafari, can you hear us? Oh, great. So you can just continue from your hand, sir. Share your screen with us. Hello, so sir. We can have your presentation.
Okay, please, you can go ahead, Dr. Olafari. Go ahead. Share your screen.
Okay, sir. Good evening to everybody. All protocol duly observed. I'm Olafari Oladimeji Festus, and I'm here to present to us a webinar sponsored by the Association for Innovative Technology Integration in Education, titled Introduction to Learning Analytics. Every institution in Nigeria and across the globe have their set objectives. And the objectives of the institutions are for learners to learn, promote scholarship, to prepare students with knowledge and skills for self-reliance, carry out high-quality career counseling, and lifelong learning opportunity. Based on this, all these institutions require data to achieve their set goals. And that's why data is a set of information about learners that can be used to achieve the goals of every institution. They are digital and can be transformed into value for speculation and decision making. From this set of data that are gathered in all the institutions, this set of data are called big data. The goal of every institution is to achieve their students' performance to be better than what the entry behavior is. And that's why they gather this data, which we call big data. And it requires the use of technology in tracking and storing students' set of data within a confined environment, which is the institutional database, over an extended period for a particular transaction, either for administrative purpose, educational purpose, or business purpose, in which way it comes to them. Uses of technology in big data. Technology has taken us away from our normal conventional way of gathering student data, such as making reference to student files, taking time and stress to code and compute student data, requesting the student to appear physically, either to their course advisors, their course lecturer, or to a certain office within the institution. Data are used to determine different things about our learners, as their pre-entry level, to also know those that are coming in with low entry level, to know the previous and the present learning environment, and also to determine students with special conference sessions for selected learners, such as counseling and also encouragement and engagement. Based on this, we can gather our data from two major sources. So one is the pre-learning management system and the learning management system. The pre-learning management system is not activity-based, but takes care of the information activity-based, instructional-based. Data from mention data that was used, such as results, JUPEB results, JAM results, and information from the institutional portal unit, also their age, their socio-economic background, and others. The learning management system has to do with the instructional-based issue that talks with our Blackboard, Edmodo, Google Classroom to get students' data and their performance interaction with other students while they are trying to learn. Based on this, data are being proliferated. That is, we talk about data proliferation. Proliferation of data is known as analytics. It offers insights into one, intricacies of using technology for instructional activities, analyzing data to fine-tune instructional activities. Categories of analytics in education. Analytics in education comes in three different categories: educational data mining, administrative analytics, academic analytics. Educational data mining, one, guides the future academic progress of institutions of higher learning so that they will know the issues that have been coming up, starting from the entry level of their learners to the time they graduate, the issues they have along the line, the risk they are facing, which can lead to withdrawal or can also make them happy. This can also maximize campus resources in the sense that they will know what the learner talks about our accreditation and and the university as a whole. Where and these are things we have to do in this year. Academic analytics, which is another aspect of this, and the lecturers taking
Our dear audience, we are very sorry for the interruption on the network service of our
it
presenter.
goes beyond the department, taking each courses in the academic analytics. Learner
Once again, we are very sorry for the break in transmission. Dr. Lafari will soon be live online again.
and report them. I'm back online. Learner analytics talks about measurement, collection, and analysis of data about learners and their context. The purpose is to understand and optimize learning within a certain institution. The context is within that institution that the information is being gathered, and also where the information is being used. Learning analytics, the benefits in education, identifying target courses, where the courses that the learners are taking based on their entry behavior, as in the learning management data obtained from the university, identifying their target courses, curriculum improvement by knowing what the learners need and know what to put into the curriculum. Students' learning outcome, behavior, and process, how they interact with other learners, how they behave within the department, and the processes taken to get this done. Personalized learning also, where they learn at their own pace, and also the activities they take when they are using the learning management system at their own time and their own confinement. Improved instructors' performance, where facilitators or instructors can know the strategy, the techniques, and the methods to put in place to teach the learner to improve the learning outcome and other areas that has to do with learning. Then the post-educational employment, which talks about the employability that the learners the employability skills that the learners are to get within their time within the institution of learning. Step for learning analytics in education. We have the pre-institutional activities, which talks about the good grant for instructional activities where facilities that are required within the institution are put in place for learners to use when they get into the university. And that's why the pre-LMS is being taken to know what the learners will need by the time they come into where the teaching and learning takes place, where learners and the facilitator can relate and interact as a group, or the data collection is either in terms of formative or the summative, maybe semester-based, or at the end of the academic session, or at the end of every lecture, where lecturers give them a test and know how they performed at the end of an instructional activity, or they are being given assignment when LMS is being used, or they are being given tests via the LMS. Data processing and storing. This is where data is being cleaned and reduced. Since we have started with the issue of big data, we can clean data where there are issues and things that ought to be removed. The data will be cleaned and reduced for what is meant for and to be able to analyze the data. Data analysis. This is where the data is being turned into value to make decisions and precision about the learners on what they need and how they can improve and help those that need counseling and those that are at risk. Visualization. This is the graphical representation of data that are gotten within the institution, be it from the course lecturer, the department, the faculty, or the institution as a whole, where we can get the trend at which activities have been taking place, how students have been relating and interacting with others, and how they've been performing when it comes to teaching and learning. Learning analytics framework. The learning analytics framework talks about the descriptive, the predictive, and the prescriptive. The descriptive has to do with course evaluation, LMS activities, and e-portfolio. The predictive analytics has to do with games and simulation. The two turns out to help in making prescription about what is meant for the learners, the tools, the facilities that can help the learners to improve and also help the institution to achieve their set goals. Descriptive analytics. It allows instructors to make strategic decisions, and that is why it is instructor-based and departmental-based. It also helps teaching style for each of the students. It talks about instructional activities where facilitators or instructors know the strategies, the techniques to use for a group of students, a certain level and a certain year of students based on their pre-LMS data and the LMS data gotten. Student engagement and interaction, where learners are being engaged via the LMS and interact with their class members or classmates. And this can help the way they learn and also help their individualized learning. Lesson effectiveness. It's based on the instructional activity and student engagement. The instructor will see a certain outcome where the lesson will be effective, students will participate, and teaching and learning will be facilitated, and it will improve the learning outcome. Then feedback is being gotten when the audits are done using the descriptive analytics. The predictive analytics offers insights, and in most cases, it is an institutional based. It helps students to understand the course content and the context in which the facilitator, the instructor, presents the details to them. It determines the performance level of the students, engagement level of the students, using both the pre-LMS and the LMS. When you know their performance in their secondary school and or their NC level, and you can compare with what they are doing in your classroom, and you can say this is who this learner is. This learner is at a low risk, he is not participating, and others. Determine students at risk, students academic growth, when they are being engaged and we know they are at risk, by this, facilitators can help them and they can grow academically. Intervention and correct issues earlier. When issues have been determined at the earlier stage, either by the pre-LMS data or the LMS data, it can be worked upon by a certain unit in the university, the counseling unit, the course advisor, the course lecturers, and students can also improve via this. Prescriptive analytics. It provides facilitators with actionable decisions based on the outcome of the descriptive and the other one. The facilitator can take actions on what to do, alternate suggestions to enhance instructional activity, to know either to change the strategy, the techniques that he or she or the method that he has been using for those students based on the outcome of the descriptive and the predictive. use of different educational resources and tools, where different elements can be used to facilitate teaching and learning, an adaptive instructional technique based on the student performance, where you know the performance of your learners and you can adapt a certain technique to teach a certain concept. However, we need to be dynamic so that we will not be used to a certain technique for a certain concept. Learning analytics tools that works for the analysis. Most of these learning analytics tools are institutional based on the set goal of each of the institutions, what they had wanted to achieve, their aim. And that's why each institution goes with a certain tool. For example, we have the social networking adapting pedagogical practice, the SNAP, the Connect for Success, C4S, automated wellness engine, personalized adaptive studies success, which is PASS. The SNAP generates visual representation, that's the social networking diagram, how students interact and relate within a certain classroom basically online, the way they interact, the way they participate in classroom activities and pattern of behavior on LMS, how they do, the way they respond to quiz, to questions, assignments when it is being given will be shown using the SNAP. Participation in comparison to others. We can easily determine how they participate when they are being compared with their other classmates, when teaching and learning activities is on, and when assignment, quiz, and test is being given. The Connect for Success, which is the C4S. The tool seeks to improve learner success, retention, graduation rates, where university can know, okay, this is the rate at which we are graduating our students. Students are not staying back, students are not withdrawing. They can compare with what they take in when they were in 100 level and the number graduating when they were in 400 level. And this can help achieve the set goal of each institution, the set goal of course lecturers. When you know the total number of students that registered for your courses and you know their performance and you know those that are carrying the courses over, then you could predict what has really happened, what you've done wrong, and what you've done right using the Connect for Success. The extra support requirement, it does that it tells you what to be done. Intermediate referral, you know as course lecturer, as the department, what to do for the learners, and you know where to refer them to when you determine the issues they're having. The automated wireless engine generates weekly and daily wellness reports of our learners, where we know the issues that the learners are having, how they are performing on a daily basis and on a weekly basis, which starts from the trigger to the student, those things that are proactive, that makes them perform on the platform, that makes them to learn more when instructions are being given. It shows the reasons for withdrawal and also wellness and happiness rating of our learners. And this, in most cases, comes up in via the LMS, and the pre-LMS data can also be used to boost this when we know what they are coming in with and how they've been performing via the LMS. The personalized adaptive study, which is study success, which is PASS, shows the performance level of our learners in all activities, self-assessment of learners, predictive course mastery, highlights social interaction, recommends content and activities, and also provide personalized environment where it shows how each of the learners perform at their own pace when they are doing assignments, they are doing quiz and responding to questions at their own pace. Thank you very much. That's all. Hello.
Mr. Olawale Kwalidafe will anchor the second segment of the program. So I'm going to enable Kwalidafe to now start. One, at this forum, you are free to ask questions you are also free to contribute. If you are willing to contribute, what we will do is one, Olawale Kwadafe will be asked to start first. After him, if you have issues to present as part of the webinar, you will also be allowed. Please, we will appreciate if you can use the question and answer platform. Otherwise, you can also raise your hand so that we'll know you are going to present something. So I can see, so end of the show. Hello? Now I can see, okay. Kwadafe?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I think the presenter have done justice to the topic given. Learning analytics is something to go by if institution will really want to achieve their goals, and which is student success. Because whatever reason why we are teaching what we are teaching our pupil is to, or our students, is to enable them to achieve success, to have a good number of graduates, and to have students who can demonstrate a high knowledge of the subject matter that is being disseminated. And just like Professor Efebo mentioned yesterday, that the reason why we administer tests is not to fail students, but rather to make them come out to test their knowledge. Learning analytics provide for us an option of actually knowing the knowledge of the learner even before they get tested for examination. So it helps us to determine their weaknesses. It helps us to determine their area of strength also. Learning analytics, you know, in recent times, we've been hearing cases of high students drop out. And I think learning analytics can be a solution for this. You know, when we study critically those students that are dropping out, there should be a common denominator that is common to them all. And this can help us to make future prescription or prediction rather of learner that has the tendency of dropping out, and such learner can be helped on time. And when we're talking about these data are readily available. They are very much available. It's just unfortunate that many of our institutions are not making use of them. Let me take a university, for example. A student applied, and then the student have submitted, already scored 180 in JAMB or something, or the student is having about 5 credits as prescribed. So we should be able to, we collect this data year in, year out, and at the end of the day, we are not doing anything with it. We ask students to come on the university portal to register this, to do, we collect even details to up to their level or up to their secondary school level. So we really need to stand up and do something about this. So we really need to stand up and do something. I think it's high time we do something. We make use of this data instead of just putting them there and just lying fallow. So Dr. Lafare has helped us to understand the importance of data. So we collect data year in, year out. Do we also know that all of these CA, continuous assessment, that we are, for all of these continuous assessment that we give to students monthly, weekly, they are also sources of data. There are also sources of data. So all these things can actually help us. They can help us make sense of the students' learning problems and also to prescribe solution for their problems. So I think it's really an interesting topic, and I want us to look forward to more of this in the forthcoming IT conference, because Dr. Olafare and his team will be doing justice to this topic in all areas, and you can see ways of applying.
Okay.
How do we bring out data from how do we bring out data from the LMS, learning management system? How can we make certain predictions? You know, or how can we apply statistical analysis to make judgments such that we know? In fact, we as educators, we can also use data to evaluate ourselves. The method I've been using, what is the effect on the performance of the learner? Because what we stand to work on as educator and as an instructional technologist is to improve performance and also facilitate learning. So when our methods, when our resources, the kind of resources or technology we are bringing to class is not doing this effectively, our data can tell us. So I think those are my contributions for now, sir. So, and let me quickly add this. For those who are interested in the certificate, I've just posted a link on the chat, so you can see it there. Just follow the link and make your application. Thank you.
Thanks so much for your contribution. I will just make this observation as a corollary to what the presenter and Olawale had given us information. You have a candidate who goes through a Nigerian secondary school. Through that process, you collect data. He or she gets registered on the WAEC platform. Data at that level, at the JAMB platform, data, and you find that at every level, we collect the same thing. We collect the same thing. However, we can't use the same data for value. It's even worse in a university. A candidate gets admitted to the university for a first degree or through a remedial program or a pre-degree program. Everything about him or her is captured fully on the university database through the portal platform. The candidate later applies for master's or PhD. He or she must go through the same platform. You are going to ask about the same type of data. So you find, what are we doing? Reinventing the wheel virtually every time. At the end of the day, those things are there without any value in terms of improvement, in terms of encouragement for those who are not doing well. So the idea of presenting this one, there's a limited thing we are going to talk about later on as a webinar. That is the issue of big data. Big data. We are looking today at the issue of learning analytics. And the goal is to see how available data can be used to improve student performance, to monitor their progress, and to predict their outcome. So I'm going to invite panelists. One, I want to appreciate our Prof. Professor Efebo is also with us today. Really appreciate you, sir. So I'm going to invite those who are raised their hand. One, Mr. Agboye, Mr. Suberu, you can unmute your microphone and then make your presentation.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Good evening, Prof. and other participants out there. Hello?
Yes, you can go ahead. You can hear you.
Okay. All right. First of all, I also want to commend this today's presentation, especially about this learning analytics. As far as I'm concerned, this has always been a concept I have been seeing in the literature. Even though I didn't take time to really read much about it, and it is today I have gotten this opportunity to be able to get more insights, especially to get a good understanding about this learning analytics. However, I have certain things which I'm not clear, which I want to ask a question. I have seen in the presentation certain tools that are used when applying learning analytics, one of which is social network adaptive pedagogical practice, SNAP, and a lot more. But I have not seen in the list this issue of some models, for instance, that we have in instructional systems design, ISD. Because of the word analytics, I'm thinking about it towards, or maybe in relation to the word analysis. I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but if analytics is related to the word analysis, or maybe looking at this also another word, learning, then I feel maybe one of the tools of applying this learning analytics should also be with ISD models, especially ISD models that have in their space to do with analysis of learning or learner's background. So this is a question I have. I don't know whether if this contribution is a line. Thank you, Prof.
Yes, we thank you for that contribution.
All right.
You know, in the past, when we were in primary school, secondary school, even before we have the digital world.
Yes.
There is always what we call the end of year report or end of term report.
Yes, terminal report.
Yes, a teacher gives information about how a student behaves in the class, is attentive, is troublesome, is this. That was the analog type. Now, over years, you have the digital base to retrieve information about students.
Okay.
Like the presenter said, the goal of the school is what? Learning. There is nothing else as the goal is learning.
Yes.
Even when you do research, your research is towards assisting students to be able to achieve their learning end.
Yes.
So the purpose is really learning. We are talking of data that has to do with students, how they can be used to describe them, how they can be used to predict what will happen.
Okay.
So that is so we will allow Dr. Ogunlade. Dr. Ogunlade, please, you are on. You can talk to us. Unmute your microphone.
Hello, sir. Just before we take Dr. Ogunlade, I would like to add some things to answer Mr. Zubairu's questions.
Okay.
Well, talking about how can we apply it in ADI, you know, you mentioned analysis, and we're talking about learning analytics. Yes, learning analytics is something you ought to have done even before thinking of developing a solution. So ADI is to help you solve a learning problem. So learning analytics will help you to understand the problem, to have a deep understanding of the problem. You know, most of the thing we use ADI for these days is just that I'm trying to do a research and then I want to use ADI model. We don't even do enough analysis on the problem we think we want to solve. And that is why many of our learning solutions are not very effective these days. So learning analytics, we
Oh. Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes. You can go ahead, Dr. Ogunlade. Dr. Ogunlade, go ahead. Dr. Ogunlade, go ahead.
Dr.
Okay, sir. That's
Unfortunately, I don't know what's happening. Dr. Ogunlade, can you hear me?
yes, we just
Okay, I can understand your network. Okay, meanwhile, let's call Mrs. Sotayo. So when Ogunlade is ready, we would. Mr. Sotayo, you can unmute your microphone. Go ahead and talk, Mrs. Sotayo.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Once again, I must say that it's been very exciting and interesting to be here. I want to talk about what we have just learned. I presume that we at the Federal Ministry of Education can use this to get data from the states. Most of the time, instead of our usual annual data census that we do, which over the years has proved to be fraught with many political manipulations. I presume that learning analytics can help us to get data right from the state as these data are being generated, rather than waiting until a particular time of the year whereby, political manipulations would have come in, because some people think that data is something that can be used to source for funds. Maybe they are right anyway. So it is very, very useful. It's going to be very, very useful for us at the Federal Ministry of Education. But the problem I see, a major problem, is that of lack of electricity, as well as phobic teachers, technophobic teachers that we have. So I don't know how the association can help us. Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much for your presentation. Like the association cannot do anything because we don't have control. We can only do advocacy. We can assist those who seek for our support. But as for what the associations can
Hello. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I think we're having network issues right now in Ilorin due to this downpour we are experiencing right now. So Professor Yusuf has been disconnected. He will join us soon. But in the meantime, I will want to continue the role I'm calling Kamal Oladosu. So, Mr. Kamal Oladosu, kindly unmute and give us your own contribution.
Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello. Good
Hello, you
afternoon.
are on, you are live.
All
Please
protocols. Okay, thank you. All protocols duly observed. The point I want to raise with the analytics is looking at the Nigerian system of admission, where a student from the sciences without a background in education, somebody that wanted to register for medicine, for example, or engineering, is posted or admitted into the Faculty of Education. How do we use his pre-LMS results to predict his performance? Perhaps, you know. Now, this comes with individual differences. The psychology of, I don't want to be in the Faculty of Education. I don't want to be a teacher. And all the processes we go through in, you know, in reshaping the orientation of this candidate. How do we balance the background with the data the person is coming with into analyzing the future and the intermediate performances of such a student? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Oladosu, for that important question. Well, I think when we're talking about big data is always and readily available, whether you are in sciences or you are in art or commercial, or maybe you are given a course that you have not applied for one way or the other. So there is always a data to track you. You are coming to the university system with certain O-level combination. You are coming to the university system with certain JAM scores. So I think there is no doubt we still need to do a lot of work on our admission process. I mean, throughout the country, a lot still needed to be done. But however, your data can still actually help us to predict. We have enough data about the candidates. The students can make it through the department is going to. They are from certain parts. Extra things that can.
Hello? Hello? Now, yes, there is somebody with, please, I'm sorry, there was just a blackout within my area. It's raining. The network went off from all my lines. So please, Techno, somebody Techno Spark, should please talk. Techno Spark. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, just from Edo State.
Okay.
I want to comment especially now the awareness of this online training and e-learning is coming up in Nigeria. As regards the topic we just had this evening, learning analytics is very crucial. Is that as an eye opener to me, especially because if we look at the record are able to keep record just as primary school COVID-19 and there's no data to share. Nigerians. So if we have ancestry university level, collecting data all over again after you are entering the university, out of it because if we are looking at the government, we always the university academic staffs, they're using the ASUP, the polytechnic academic staff. If there's any way they can partner with them so that this body, because I see in your logo, educational consultancy, if there's any way you can partner with this association so that you come down to the high institution to organize lectures so that this awareness will just be there so that we can go to the grassroots, then so that we can begin to build on this ITT learning. I know in Nigeria situation, we are going to be facing some challenges like as we have experienced now, issue of network and the issue of power as well. But that notwithstanding, we know that technology, benefit of technology is more than some of the challenges we may enumerate. So that is my point, sir.
Okay, thanks so much. Like you said, the association is ready to partner with anybody, with any institution, with any society in terms of making technology part of the instructional process. Like I said yesterday, I hope Nigeria is not just excited about online teaching, online learning because of COVID-19. I hope we are really interested so that after now, we will implement it. So I will now allow Awal to talk to us. Please, Awal Sambo, please, you can talk to us. Just unmute your microphone. Awal Sambo.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I'm Awal Sambo from Bauchi State.
Okay.
My question is about the certificate we are about to apply.
Okay.
The certificate is for workshop or conference certificate?
Now, the certificate is for this webinar. Some of the participants said they would like to have a certificate of participation on the webinar. And we are now saying if you are interested, you fill in as given to you on the platform, and then you will pay 1,000 naira, and then you have certificate.
Okay, sir. Thank
now,
you.
Ayọ̀adé Ẹkúnwálé. Please. You can go ahead and unmute your. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm calling from Kogi State.
Okay.
Actually, what I wanted to say, one person has mentioned about it, that how are we going to involve the College of Education? Because you have been talking about university. Now that the federal government wanted all the higher institutions, all the tertiary institutions to be involved in learning, how are we going to involve the lower institutions like College of Education? And that's what I have.
Okay, we are sorry if you have been using universities. The fact is this: we are able and we can support and we'll be willing, whether at the pre-nursery, at the nursery, primary, lower secondary school, and at the other levels of education. We're ready to support. You can contact us. Our website is there. Yesterday, we shared our phone number. We shared our email address, and we also share it today. You can contact us. We'll be willing to assist in the area of training. So that is the issue. Then Techno 3 here. I don't know the name. Please, you can just go ahead and talk to us. Please, just unmute your. Go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Bridget Otemuiwa.
Okay, madam.
I'm speaking. I'm speaking from Abuja.
Okay, yes, we can understand you.
Yes, I'm actually grateful and happy to be part of this wonderful program. I want to appreciate the association for this laudable program that is kicking off.
Okay.
I have an observation. It's not really a question. I attended yesterday's class. It was wonderful.
Okay,
you
can go ahead. You can go ahead.
My observation, sir, we are talking of how states, ministries of education or other bodies, even private, can buy into this. My observation is that the level of awareness of this program, I think, is very, very low. I don't know what the association can do to see how they can come up with, I don't know how the form it will take, whether advertisement or do a letter to commissioners of education so that awareness, first of all, should be created. I believe that by the time awareness is created, the association will have even too much to attend to.
Okay.
Because I really see that it's a very laudable program. That's my submission, sir.
Well, we appreciate your comment and we will do something about it after now. That's a very good comment.
Okay,
we'll
sir.
look at what we can do. Nora Bawa from Sokoto. Nora Bawa from Sokoto. You can go ahead and talk. Mr. Nora, you are on. Nora Bawa, you are on. Okay. Dr. B.S. Akande. Dr. Akande. Dr. Akande, just unmute your microphone. Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. I would just want to mention this issue now that is coming up. I'm particularly very thrilled with this program you're having.
Okay.
And I want to say, if we're talking about analysis of data, can we foresee a situation where we can use equivalent analysis from different universities so that it's same to a university, say from maybe UI to Unilorin to Uniben? Is it possible following this analysis you just discussed?
Now is possible, but there must be the handshake. There must be the handshake, and this is possible if the NUC as a platform creates a common ground. I'm aware there are ways you can do it from our experience, but there must be the handshake. Otherwise, what you do now is you start asking for pieces of data from this place to that place, and then that will not assist. When we're talking about learning analytics, we are talking of your ability to be able to access the data within a framework of assessing a particular learner. There are fellows who are their first degree in Unsuka, who are PhD, master's in learning or in Ibadan. If you have such a platform, it's possible for you to transfer information about them regarding their experience, regarding their ability, their challenges into the context of the present situation where he is a PhD or a master degree student. So it's possible, but there you will need the handshake. I'm not sure Nigeria as of today we have that handshake. I'm not sure we have that, but I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm sure we have that handshake. So we will allow, please, Sherifat Balogun to just talk to us.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Please, I want to find out, the other time you said can assist even in secondary school for training.
Yes.
So will it be free or at a particular cost?
In fact, it's not going to be free. It's not going to be free
Okay.
because it will entail. In fact, let me just tell you, the one we are doing free of charge now. In fact, individuals are behind the cost. That is the reality. Those are behind the cost. For example, the resource fellows, somebody is in Ibadan. Those of us in Ilorin, we are not together. And they are using their data. Not only that, you are subscribed to the Zoom, not the free type and other things like that. So there are implications. So, but I can assure you, in terms of cost, it's not going to be as expensive as maybe those who are into it for business.
Okay.
We will be interested in maintaining our standard and be interested in assisting. We want to project quality institutional environment through technology. That's our goal. But then it's not going to be free. That is the simple information.
Okay.
Now we will allow Muhammad Habib. So Muhammad Habib can.
Good evening, panelists and
good evening,
fellow participants.
Yes, good evening.
Congratulations, Prof. Emo,
yeah, thank
for
God, sir.
initiating this
yes,
and taking the bold step to start this.
Okay.
Learning analytics is a very good platform or process, so to say, in an ideal society where they have record keeping
yes,
in a very standardized way.
Yes.
Sorry, at the moment, we don't even have process of keeping proper record. That's one of our problems. I expect the presenter to go deep into the issues of how can we, in an environment very short of technology, to adopt this learning analytics and apply it in our context. Of course, we have a lot of challenges of infrastructure, challenges of skills. Technologies are few in number. Teachers at all levels are not really teachers. These are individuals who have degree and they don't have job to do and they found themselves in education. They are not teachers really. So we have a lot of challenges. So I expect the presenter to see how it can be adapted to suit our own environmental factors. It's very important. It's very nice. It's not something that we can dip into and immediately implement it to benefit from it. But actually, as time goes by, it's good to start in any way.
Okay.
We will achieve certain goal, but we have to localize it. As it is, we cannot benefit anything from it. But if we localize it, remove some of the things that is only feasible in environment with high technology, then I think we can move forward. Again, congratulations and well done.
Thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
your comment. We will observe that one. So, Grace Akambi, we will allow you to talk now.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I want to thank you for the presentation tonight, but I really want to raise an issue. Yesterday, when you were attending to my question, we talked about transformative leadership.
Yes.
And as it is now, I don't know whether the association can have a way of liaising with NUC, NCC, TESCOM, especially NUC and NCC, to train heads of institutions in the application of technology to learning. Because you discover that some heads, they are not even interested in all that we are saying at all, because they don't use it, they don't know what it entails. But probably if all of them, if they have access to training through your association with the help of the federal government and so on, probably they may encourage their teachers and lecturers to buy into using technology in the classroom. Because in my own outlook, my own way of thinking about it, if the head is not interested in what you want to do, what you have acquired, you may not be able to utilize it effectively. So please find a way of, I don't know, God will help you.
Yes, I appreciate your comment. Like one of our mentors, Professor Inanoye Imogi of University of Benin, retired now. He wrote a seminar paper, which is with 10 naira do. It was about a particular teacher in a secondary school who had experience of a workshop. He was so studious. He mastered virtually everything he was taught at that venue. And he was enthusiastic to teach others within the school system. When he got home, he discussed with the school leader that, sir, this was what we learned at the workshop. This is what we would do. We can be sure our students will do everything. After he had finished this comment, the principal asked, will 10 naira do? And that was the end of discussion. So we are aware of the fact that no matter your interest as an innovator or as an educator or as a teacher who is passionate about technology in education, if you don't have the support of the school head or the administrator of the institution, you can be sure your idea is dead on arrival and there's little or nothing you can do. So we will see what we can do. If we have from the Ministry of Education who are on the platform and who are with us today, and they are also part of this. If there is a way they can bring out the handshake between us and those fellows, we will appreciate it. Thanks so much for your comment, ma. Kaidenu, you can talk now. Kaidenu.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I want to appreciate the organizer for this great eye-opening workshop.
Okay.
Mine is just a kind of a little contribution, and it will come in the form of a question.
Okay.
I understand the fact that learning analytics there's a kind of a cycle for the learning analytics. And these cycles comprise of the learners, the data, as well as the metric, then interventions. When we talk of the learners, we are talking about what kind of learner we want to analyze. What kind of learning environment are we talking about? Then we talk of data. What data could be separated and what kind of data can we generate from the learners? And when we talk of metrics, we think of the theory that backs the pattern that can be drawn from the already existing data gathered from the learners, as well as what analytical tools could be used to predict whatever information you want to deduct from the data gotten from the learners, then how to render this analytics and for whom you are rendering this information you have gathered already from the already analyzed data. Then what kind of intervention you want to supply after you might have analyzed data and determined the exact problem that is existing from the background data that has gathered from the learners. Then what intervention you as an analyzer want to supply in terms of, do you want to develop a kind of a model? Is it a software intervention you want to supply, or you want to propose a recommendation for the implementation that will be able to optimize learning? As a result of that, there are a lot of things I'm so much concerned about. When we talk of this learning analytics, sir, it is all about, most of things I've been hearing about, it is all about LMS, gathering data from LMS. And when we talk of gathering data from LMS, that means that we have engaged the learners on the use of learning management system. And learning management system operates basically online. But I'm so much concerned about our conventional university that do major things offline, particularly in university systems. Yes. If we are talking about the level advisors, the work of level advisor has been so degraded to the level that the level advisor hardly finds out each member of his the advisee. he or she will not be able to detect whether this a particular learner is deficient in a particular area, and what kind of augmentation what kind of assistance can I render for this particular learner, so that the learner will be able to optimize his learning in that kind of learning environment. So I want to ask, with all the data gathered, with all the information supplied by the students, right from their entry level, since there are a lot of entry requirements when they are coming into the school, which is their O-level requirements, their JAMB score, as well as the post-JAMB score. All these data that have already been gathered, they are coming into the school with it, and also their academic performance at every semester, which metamorphs into this another semester and already session to another session. Is there no way that this kind of data that has already been supplied can be used analogically, that will be able to be predict by the level advisor, by the management, by the instructor, so that they will be able to know this is the problem, this is, so that instead of just everything that will always be online, since we are not using online for most of our learning activities in terms of assignments, in terms of attendance and the rest.
Mr. Nu, so that at least we won't just go on indefinitely. Okay, you see, we understand your concern. Like I did mention at a fora, I said the idea in Nigeria is we use the digital technology in an analog way. There is no reason why most of the things that we do within the university system, that we go about with physical files. We want to advise a student, he must bring that, this must bring that, and we have all these files. They are not necessary. They are not necessary. It's just that we are not willing to forget our source, where we started. That is one. Two, the administrators are not providing the resources. Three, like we said, they are not transformative enough. So even when the ideas are there that these are ways we can do it, somebody will tell you, please, let's just use this approach. You will still get to the same result. So what we are saying is this, learning analytics is not going to be this physical movement of files. If you have files, you must transfer them to digital form in terms of data that can be analyzed. So we can't help it if the university decides to start to still be using a physical file. Everything must be done. A student must come physically. You must sign. You must do all these things. When all these things can be verified using the biometric method. So these are things that we would. Finally, Mr. Adamu, so that will be Mr. Adamu.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Before we have Mr. Adamu, can I make some contributions?
Okay, you can just go ahead.
Mr. Oloje's question. Well, I think we don't need to be to think that all these things will still be done face to face. Hello. So a lot of things can actually make sense. Hello, Mr. Tubosun, can you be on mute, please? So a lot of things we can actually make use of. You know, we have this data. That is why they call it big data. So it transcends what we will now be carrying files, like Prof said the other time. It goes beyond that level. So we have it so massive. Now there is something called SCOM or XAPI, Experience API, which helps to gather the learning record of a learner, both online and offline. The time you spend reading ordinary PDF notes is also recorded, but all these things cannot be done face to face. In fact, maybe we are going to be employing a statistician. Maybe the university can start attaching a statistician to every student and every lecturer, which is not going to be, make sense. And we know these times they are like emerging technology. They were not there, some 50, 80 years ago, because the kind of data we are collecting are so limited. They are so small that just by seeing them, you can make judgments. But we are talking about big data. These data are too much. Do you know that interaction on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so on, those data can be collected, and we can analyze those data to determine who a learner is. But who is going to do that? You have about 100 students you are cohorting. Are you going to stand by their, or you are going to sit by their, what's it called, their Facebook page one by one, go to Twitter one by one, go to LinkedIn one by one? It's not going to be possible. So the earlier we embrace technology to assist us in doing things, the better it is for us. And I tell you, these data are readily available and they are everywhere. Thank you so much.
Okay. So, Mr. Atubosun, are you still willing to talk? Mr. Atubosun Adamu, so you can talk now. Mr. Atubosun. Okay, it seems he's not there. I want to appreciate everybody for being part of this presentation. So the time for tomorrow is also 5. Thanks so much for being part of today's presentation. We are going to end the meeting now. We appreciate you for being with us. We hope we'll meet tomorrow by the grace of God.
Thank you. Thank you for bearing so much despite the network issues and all that. So we hope to see you guys tomorrow.